Welcome to this introduction to the Dutch language course at TU Delft. In just a few weeks, you will be able to speak Dutch. In this video, I will show you how learning with the Delft method works and how to be successful in this course. I will begin with information about the Delft method for language learning. Then I will provide tips on how to study and prepare for classes. After that, we will look at what will happen during the classes and what will be expected of you. Let's look briefly at the Delft method for language learning and some of the theory behind it. The method was first developed in the 1980s by the TU Delft Language Institution and is continually updated to remain relevant and effective. It differs from many other language learning methods in some significant ways, which is why understanding this introduction is essential for getting off to a good start. First of all, it's a natural method. It is based on native language acquisition. Secondly, it is unconventional. Learning Dutch this way will probably be completely different from what you are used to. And lastly, it will be very fast. Language input is a crucial part of any language learning process. Babies listen to people around them and repeatedly hear the same words. This repetition is essential. Soon they begin to associate words with the world around them and start using them. It's like playing with Lego blocks. Once you've gathered some blocks, you can start building something simple. Your building skills will develop gradually, but you need practice. The same goes for language learning. First, you collect words. This is your language input. And then you begin to put them together in various ways, forming your own sentences. That's why the Delft method focuses on input, repetition, frequent and useful words, and speaking skills. It is learning by doing. How does the Delft method work in practice? First of all, the homework, the input and repetition, takes place at home with the book and the online materials before each lesson. Which means before coming to class, you should already know the words, understand the text, and have practiced the pronunciation. You will need around 3 hours per text. If you have successfully completed this preparation, you will be ready to participate in the conversation class in Dutch. The central element in the Delft method is the text. Topics include family, food, housing, daily routines, etc. Every new text introduces around 50 new words. The Delft method guides you through the input phase in 4 steps. At each step, you will work with the text in various ways. Listening, reading, and, very important, repeating sentences out loud. If you follow these steps as intended, you shouldn't need to do anything else. Therefore, dedicate your study time to these steps and avoid other learning activities such as making word lists, copying the entire text by hand, writing definitions in the book, and learning the text by heart. True, some of these may be relatively useful, but others can be counterproductive, and you can better spend your time practicing speaking. Let's look at the online material. There are 4 steps to take. Step 1. This will take the most time, about an hour per text. Listen to the text sentence by sentence while simultaneously reading it.
Hallo, ik ben Inge.
This helps you understand the relation between pronunciation and spelling. View the translation of any word by clicking on it.
Ik ben.
Some sentences contain links to grammar explanations.
Hallo, ik ben Inge.
Each time the text is paused, practice pronouncing the sentences and compare your pronunciation with the model.
Mijn naam is Inge van Dijk.
After analyzing the text in step 1, go to step 2. Step 2. Listen and read along.
Les 1. Hoe heet je?
Hallo, ik ben Inge. Mijn naam is Inge van Dijk. Ik ben de docent.
There are no pauses
Wie
after
ben
the
jij?
sentences. Repeat this several times. Are you confident you understand the entire text? If yes, then proceed to step 3. Now the written text is gone. Listen and after each pause, repeat the sentences out loud.
Les 1. Hoe heet je?
Hallo,
It is
ik
important
ben
to
Inge.
repeat this step until you can say sentences smoothly. If not, go back to step 1. Finally, step 4. Listen to the spoken text without any help.
Les 1. Hoe heet je?
Hallo, ik ben Inge.
And with that, you've completed the input phase. Check how well you know the text by taking various tests. There are 2 types, a gatentekst or gap-filling test and a luistertest or listening test. The gap-filling test is identical to the text you just learned, but with words missing. Your task is simple. Fill in the correct words in the gaps. There is also a gap-filling test in the book. Don't write the answers in your book. Read out loud. Fill in the missing words by speaking it. You should be able to do this without too much hesitation. If not, more study is needed. The listening test is a dictation. Again, if you studied well, this task is simple. Write the sentences you hear. You pass if at least 80% of the words are spelled correctly and no words are missing. Failing the test indicates you need more study. If needed, go back to steps 1, 2, and 3. Once you understand the words in the text and once you can pronounce everything correctly, it's time to focus on constructions and grammar by doing the exercises. Fill in the words, check the explanations by clicking on the grammar links, and check the feedback if you make a mistake. Now you're almost ready for the conversation class. But before each class lesson begins, do a quick warm-up exercise. Take your book and go to the section Geef antwoord, which you will find after each text. Answer these questions in Dutch. They cover the main topics of the text and usually form the basis of the class conversations. Now that you have done all this hard work, it's time to put what you have learned into practice in the conversation classes. You will find out that you will be able to communicate in Dutch from lesson 1. The teacher starts the conversation by asking a question. Since the conversation is all about the topics of the text you just have learned, you will notice you are able to join the conversation immediately. Don't be shy. There is no need to wait your turn. Feel free to jump in whenever you have something to contribute. And while others speak, you're not just a passive listener. You should be actively thinking about how to respond to what's being said. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are a normal part of the learning process. The teacher will correct you when necessary and give you feedback on grammar, pronunciation, and word usage. Being able to participate in the conversation helps you check whether you've learned enough. And, importantly, it is also assessed by the teacher throughout the course and counts towards your final grade. As you should understand by now, thorough preparation before class is key to successful participation in class. So prepare the text well, be active in class, and have fun. See you in class. Tot ziens!